Seems for a while you have been searching me. But all this while we have been searching what to search. So we looked into, or we explored, not in a detailed way, at least we got into the fundamental questions. And as we started to ask one after the other, so last week, we were examining the nature of ignorance. Okay? How we are all born ignorant. And it is not only connected with whatever we are pursuing in this life. There is a strong connection, strong impressions. So, when we are getting into various activities, whatever we are doing, whatever we want to do, because basically we see we are looking for the happiness. We want to have pleasant experience, pleasant moments. So we were guided by parents, by teachers, by society, and that constant guide we have been getting. And in many ways, many things we have been doing, pursuing, doing, keep exploring, changing, and we notice fundamentally we have no idea about this whole setup, right? Any kind of setup, if we want to fulfill from that, we need to know completely how it works. Suppose when we are cooking a particular dish, so either you heard about it or you have seen through some various recipes from the book or from YouTube, or somebody told you. So how we do that? We collect all the necessary ingredients. On top of that, we need to have the right setup, right vessels, right amount of fuel. That means like whether you are using whatever that source of that fuel, gas or electricity, whatever it may be. So we arrange all those things, and not only that, we know how it works. What is the destination, or what we want to gain out of that? The delicious food. Right? So we know, prepare everything, and we know that whole thing how it works. We learn the technique also. Then we are getting into the application, so that we get what we want, the delicious food. But in the life, it is totally unknown. We using the body, don't know how it works. If we are born in India, also different states, different explanation, different food system. One person says this is healthy, other person says this is not healthy at all. And if you go to other culture, other country, other region, then they say something else. The problem comes especially, the people who migrated from one place to other place. That's why you can see that all the Indians, they go with the food, package of food. Like, in fact, like if anybody like moving to other country, if you see that in the luggage in the airport, half of the items is only food items. And not only that, it seems like in many countries it is like that. The people have that thing, this is good for me, or after some time anyway we are addicted to the taste buds, so it works differently anyway. But we live this life but we don't know completely the whole setup. The body, we don't know how it works. The food system, we don't know how exactly it works. And especially now, new thesis, new discovery, new explanation. Every now and then they have been keep on giving. One period of time what they said it is not good, after some time they say that is the good one, best one. So you go for it. One time they said the coconut oil is the fat oil, so it is not good for you. They submitted like, a lot of theses, theories, this and that. This is the one like scientists found out. And after some time they say that is the best oil. So you should have that, this much of amount every day. A lot of items like that. So we don't know. Not only that, in fact, even now when they say organic food is good, then there is certified organic food. And if you really trace back, how far like, it is really organic, big question. So many things. So, lot of things we don't know, basic things we don't know about the life. Way of living, what kind of food eat, our sleeping pattern, how it is good, how it is connected with that. And how this whole system functions, we don't know. Whatever now we have been studying so far, they are ignoring or omitting lot of things which is connected with mind sense complex. Like in yoga we study the three different bodies: gross body, subtle body, causal body. Right? But when it comes to medicine, when it comes to science, the whole connection is only on the gross body. Even whatever now they are talking about the mind, still it is in a very surface level, not really penetrated that deeper yet. And now when it comes to all these different energy centers, the effects of that, how it works, all those things, again, so many theories coming on that. Whoever doing a little bit research on that, they come up with their theories. So in many ways, we are ignorant. And when we ask further questions about death, life after death, concept of God, all the religious rituals, activities, and also the teachings of many masters. Even many religions, any religion. So a lot of things we don't know. A lot of things it's based on the belief system, right? We don't know completely, or we don't know exactly how it works. So we know here and there, a little bit. So when that is the condition, in that we are leading the life. And we are searching things in life, and we are looking for things that brings that pleasant experience, that pleasant moment. As we are all yoga practitioners, we know very well now, right? Every yoga style claims they are the best one. You should practice in your life. Says it brings the health, it changes your life, mind, bringing calmness, relaxation. It increases your life. Your days are increased, your years are increased, you get longevity. We yoga teachers also promoting that. So the question comes, anything we do, how far we really understand, knowing, already we are pursuing with the basis of this ignorant mind, and with that we are leading the life and looking for all this. There is no doubt about it, looking for all this pleasant experience, looking for this happiness. It is self-evident when we analyze, when we look into our activities, where the mind goes, how it works, we will see to some extent. But the means to gain that, many different getting into that. Habitual way of functioning. How we don't want to give time. We want to give time for other things, but we don't want to give much time for ourselves, whether it is a body, other patterns, social patterns also. As we saw last time, like, the peer pressure is there, right? So one person follow, everybody follows. So keep running. And in this kind of situation, we want to know, or we want to gain the knowledge, and we want to know that where is that eternal happiness is there. How can I really, gain this pleasant experience all the time, and I don't need to really search, run to get that, making it, that pursuit making it really, really difficult. Why? Because our current lifestyle is really evolved in such a way that we don't have time even to cry. Forget about, happiness, this and that. If even like somebody near one, dear one, you have to do something for their, life, or somebody even left, passed away. People don't have time. Even for that, they have to move on. They have to look into something else. That's how the lifestyle we set. There is a story, it's a real story, how that our current lifestyle, not only that, how we get into this kind of like a pattern, the mind functions. In another way, like a certain image, it deals with certain image and believes that, and by that we use the mind. There was a train station, subway train station. And there was a guy standing there, opened his box and started to play violin. It was a winter time, and also it's a busy morning time, right? Generally, we can see that almost every cosmopolitan cities, every cities, we can see that how morning life is busy life. Now it becomes 24 hours anyway. So then he started to play the violin. And everybody running, because once they get down, then they have to go to next train, or they have to go to office, or they have to meet somebody, or they need to deliver something, or they need to meet, all these things like happening, right, in the morning time. And everybody rushing. So there was one person got hooked with that music, started to, listen just for a second. Then he got back to his conscious. Okay, I have to go there. I have to meet there. So went. Other person also stopped for a few seconds. One person leaned back on the wall and started to listen. Then in few minutes, then he realized, oh, I'm late already, running. And there was a child. So that kid wanted to listen. So he was standing there and listening. But his mom, obviously rushing, right? Not now. Come with me. So dragged him. So he was playing nearly 45 minutes. And they took that survey. Only at the end, there were only 6 people were standing and listening. And around 20 people put $1, $2, something like that. And totally he got around some $32. And when he finished, then there was no thing like that. Of course, when it goes a busy morning time, everybody busy in that, right? And that same person, 2 days before, played the same piece in one auditorium, and average price of the ticket is $100. And it seems he's a very skillful, famous, not very famous, but the piece like what he played itself worth some millions of dollars. But even you may like the music, you may want to do that. So when we analyze, look into this situation, we can see that it relates with our daily life, current life, mindset, the way the mind functions. Obviously, the first thing, no time. That's why, every big cities, when there is all these disaster happens, even road accident, this and that, people don't have time to really help or do anything. Even the people who may be praying regularly to see the God, but even the God is standing there. If that is morning working hour, no time, because they need to go to the office on time, and they have to meet the people on time, and there are so many things on that, right? And if we look this situation, there is furthermore the, especially now the human mind, when a lot of people started to accept something, or a lot of people like following something, the people tend to follow. Second thing, we create the image. If any person who is famous, whether it is like, all the time it is worth or not worth, but the appreciation is different. How much the person individually know. You don't need to really go about celebrities. We can see that within our circle, whether it is like family or office place. So the mindset is, we set such a way that we don't really have our own opinion, we don't have our own evaluation, rather we follow others because it makes it easier. And we don't really evaluate individual basis. I hope it will change, but right now if you see that, that is not the trend. That is not the situation. That's why the social media and everything, if you look into that, when the things are appreciated, then very easily like shared, and that kind of like pattern set, that kind of like interest set. And furthermore, we have this image. If a person who is very skillful, if a person very talented, if a person who is really master, why he is playing in the train station? That is not his place, right? So we have this, again, this image. So even for yoga masters, we have this image. Should be old, should have a long beard, should be gray hair. What else? We have a long list of that. Now I'm not talking about me. We tend to go with that instead of connecting, evaluating, analyzing, and seeing ourselves using that. We just follow. We build the image. We choose something which is easier. Because naturally the mind, that's how it functions. Less unpleasant or less pain, minimum, more happiness, less work, more reward. We are already like taught that way. So the mind also functioning that way. Then it's set the pattern. So then what we are doing in the life, if you see that, the already born ignorant, and the activities we are involved in, you have been keep on adding that. So now, the current mind what we have is really combination of everything. Already ignorant. The ignorance is set. On top of that, we set certain patterns because it is looking for this pleasant experience. Now, if we want to wake up, now if I, shake you, wake up, it will not wake up. Why it will not wake up? Because the mind, what we have now, is not something like we can deal straight away. The mind, thought process, visuals, memory, intelligence, it's all accumulation of all these past put together. So now even we know, yes, we are ignorant, we don't know many things, we don't know how this mind works and everything, we can't straight away get into the action. Even when we get into the action, still we go back to the old habit. Still we go back into the same pattern. So what the masters are saying, look into all these subtle aspects, intrinsic way the thought process are happening. the complication of this emotional connection, emotional imbalance, the more we open, more we start to see, more we explore, then we are able to see our own nature. Until even we think like we know ourselves, right? Actually not. This is the way more and more and more and more we spend, we are able to see how this mind functions. So in that now, if we are taking like different aspects, because it looks like same, but when we examine, then it's showing so many other things. See how we get easily confused. So every master saying, desire is the root cause of the problem. Desire is the root cause of your, even like the whole life, all these, whatever the miseries we are facing. Now, this moment, I say I don't want to desire on anything. Even we say, that is itself a desire, one thing. Second, we have this accumulation of all these likes and dislikes. So the mind will not listen immediately. So we have to examine first. Okay, I have to keep these desires for now. These desires I can let go. And there are all these desires I can't really, don't know what to do. So to do that, we need time. Not just simply certain hours, this and that. We need quality time. And from that, it has to be applied in a consistent way. But when we want to apply, because we already carry the emotions also, so many other things, right? This hate, love, and like jealousy, anger, all these various emotions also we are carrying, one after the other will overpower. That's why then the people simply say, just don't break your head, go with the flow, you just feel what you like to do. Very easy, right? So that's the way, like, you just go with the flow. You enjoy like the way like you can look into. And if there is any problem, run away. If there is any pain, don't even look at that side. If something good is and that, we do within our comfort zone. So we don't dare. Again, why? The fear is already instilled. We won't be courageous enough to go to tomorrow without any kind of like a security system. We have the fear of tomorrow. So all these things put together, the mind is functioning. It's not just a thought process, because we generally say vritti, right? Cessation of all these thought process to go into meditation. We generally put that. But when we look into that, every thought is a complicated one. Even I want to read these teachings, say Patanjali's teachings. The mind goes with first something easier, I can easily read, number one. Second, suppose you have already some leaning, some connection with some particular name or some particular teacher or some particular style, then we go for it. However, what I would say, like, I won't say crap, it's like, however, like a wrong way or like different way it is like interpreted. Why? Because we have already carrying these likes and dislikes. So we approach through that mind. Now, seeing it straight away in objective way may not happen. So that's why what we have to do, we go through it, we go through pain again, or we face the failure again. Then that's the time we are getting the lesson. If you are awakened, if you are like really giving enough attention to that. So anything, even other pursuit, life, we want to make money, we want to gain some status, we want to gain some different way, different kind of like influence. Even for that also, still the same rule, the same mind is there. That's why they come up with all the patterns, all the technologies. You do this way, this way, this way, you will reach there. Like our marketing, what we are doing marketing, right? What is the way you can reach out to the people? Okay, this is the way you have to do the marketing. This is the social media marketing, in-person marketing, content marketing, and what you need to do with all these like different things. So this is the way only you can reach out. So we set all these patterns. If you learn that technology from there, then you will get some success. Now when it comes to knowing our mind, that's the way they have different people explore a different methodology. Then they are listing out those methodologies. When we go through that, we are able to understand, or we are able to see little bit. Why I'm saying little bit? Again the same mind, peer pressure, right? Again the same mind, herd mentality, following that what others doing. So when it comes to this inquiry also, where I can get this eternal happiness, we tend to do the same way. We go with what we like, what we don't like. I think I have said this example before also. Like when the people want to go to yoga class, they go first class itself, straight away they will assess the teacher. This teacher is good, this teacher is bad. This teacher, how they will assess? Based on their, not just likes and dislikes. They have their own evaluation method. If the teacher is kindly speaking to you, good teacher. If the teacher is strictly speaking to you, the teacher doesn't know how to talk with the new student. They have all these assessment, right? If the teacher is like persistent, you need to do this way, you need to change this way. The teacher is patiently explaining, but the student lost it. Well, I don't know how to do that. Why you have been keeping telling me there are other students? Then that evaluation is that way. So anywhere, even this yoga classes, the students straight away they go with whom they like. That's how they start. So now, how this will change this? Of course, this will not simply change that way. But when we are studying, we need to have this understanding. The mind very easily will get into this trap. Very easily follow the same pattern, even the very fundamental search of this, where is this eternal happiness? So what is the solution for that? I can say my solution. You will see that whom you like, you will get your solution. And there are different other schools, styles and masters, teachers. Everybody have given plenty of solutions. That's why now you can see that even in these thousands of methods. And not only the methods now, it is connecting with something like in the past, the more in the coming days also it will come. Of course, over a period of time, you can see that which is like really attracting or appealing to many people or generation or that generation, then that is going on the top and the people start to follow. And that's how one period of time for the fitness, they have taken this gym work, aerobics, dance, yoga, so it goes over a period of time. Then that's what they call it as a trending. This is trending now. So when we want to explore the habits, the habitual way or the pattern of the mind, we need to look into all these different, I would say that it's not prerequisite, right? Or you put it this way, these are all the basics before really going into the patterns, how it works. The peer pressure based on these likes and dislikes, emotional conditioning. So it's all like set. Every individual person, it is different. It is not the same. Where our mind is leaning to, that's where we need to wake up. If we don't wake up, even when we study Yoga Sutra, when we study any master, we approach the same way. Is it from my place? Is it approaching the way like, how I appreciate? So now when we are looking into that, then mind will not really see its own nature. That's where we all get stuck. If we see that our teacher is the best teacher. And our teacher, whatever we say that our teacher said, our teacher said, our teacher said, we go this way. But it is not a good idea to completely accepting, because the people will miss the path. What is that? You have to surrender to your guru. That is different. That works differently. If it is guru surrender, means you surrender for everything. So that's a different thing. But here, when we are studying about it, we need to evaluate. We need to see that where is this works, where these things are not working, why it is not working. So when we are going into that kind of inquiry, then we don't go with same habit, same pattern. Within that, there is further possibility we may get into different pattern, different habit also. In fact, in future, this is going to be a big subject. You know why I'm saying it is going to be a big subject? Artificial intelligence is based on all these probabilities. In fact, that's what everybody now leaning to that. Now, the data everybody collecting, right? Whether it is social media or whether other different companies, they see it, the people doing things in a particular pattern. So if anybody's life, if you take it that 1 week, that person getting the food at this place this time, or this type of food they are purchasing, this type of place they are visiting, these people they are meeting, these songs they are listening, these videos they are watching, and this, the pattern is set. So now even like when we are watching a particular video, same type of video how we are getting, same pattern, because the machine already able to recognize. If it is olden days, they think like, nowadays I'm thinking it's happening. So I'm looking into this particular place, then afterwards I'm able to see like everything it is. I'm getting the same book, same topic, video, music, everything it goes like that. No, because the pattern is already able to recognize. That is the way the mind functions. In fact, that's how we have been trained also all this while. We have been trained, our education system, families, culture, system, custom, all those things. It is trained into this way. It requires also to some extent. Even when we are practicing meditation and asana, what we are saying that, you need to go into this particular time, and you need to give this particular method of practicing, and also particular place, all these things, like there is the prerequisites, right? So, because the mind learns through that, to really do something opposite or against or different way, the mind need to be extraordinarily deal the present situation, present moment, through that way. And that is not easy, or that is not simply can happen straight away now. If really the whole world, all the societies, if the evolution really moving into that way, then there may be possible. Everybody seeing that. So when future, when everywhere A is going to be dominant, the only way to really bring the confusion is to break this pattern. And that is what actually required to go more inward, to know what is the reality of this mind. And when I'm saying this function, this A function, it is not far away. It is just within 10 years we will see that how we are really depending on that and how we are going to use it. Like how within the last 10 years all our communication pattern is changed, the system is changed. So what we need to do for that? First, to look into that, we need to regularly, when I'm saying regularly, every day, we need to give time, one's own time, personal time, not to take the senses externally, instead move the senses towards internally, to look into that, to the way the mind functions, the way the sense organs connected with the external world. So then it reveals one by one, slowly it is revealing the thought process. Every thought, how it is connected for different likes, dislikes, emotions and everything. So then what happens in that way? In that way, first we identify that network or that map. Identification is the first process. That takes some time. Already it takes some time because there's already a complicated setup, complicated system. So when we start to look into identifying this map, how it works, then we will recognize the habits, the pattern. Afterwards only we will know, okay, how to overcome that. Again, we have to reverse in a different pattern. We want to really change that. And I will go with examples different things. For example, like desire, attachment, anger, frustration, stress, jealousy, and pride, right? Fear, sadness, grief. So all the various things, one by one, when we look into that, we have to name it. Otherwise, we don't really see it how it is already setting, because we have already dealing with that certain names. Then from there, when we look into separately and analyzing it, see that you only have to look it. You only able to assess it because it's the way you are relating with that. That's why even people sitting next to Buddha, they are not able to get the reason. It is one's own process, one's own evaluation of their own mind, connection with the external world, one's own use of their senses, sense organs, then the thought process. So if we don't see it, one teacher, one master, one system, one style, it is not working for everybody, or it is not working for 90% worked. You know that they famously say that, right? Jesus is not a Christian. After Jesus, I don't see any Jesus in Christianity. And it goes with the Buddha also. It goes with any masters. We can see that after that lineage, whoever following, then it is institutionalized. It is getting into certain pattern, certain habit. So after Buddha, no more Buddha. After this master, no more that same person in that. The people who wake up, who see that, then you can see that then their system is different or their approach is different. Then if we simply follow them, again we get into the same trap. So when we evaluate or assess all these different ways that mind functions, it has to be done one's own actual situation. It is not like something you share with others, you will get it. You know yourself. So when we completely, openly, when we analyze it, we see ourselves, what need to be done. And it is not anybody, even the people next to you, very close to you also, very difficult to assess. A general assessment can be given, but it is very difficult to come to the exact conclusion. I hope you are understanding what is the point I am emphasizing here. Suppose you are jealous of somebody. Give this example. You jealous of this particular person, got better recognition. Every day you meet, you still smile, you still behave nicely, you still do everything nicely. But if you look at your actions, activities, unknowingly there are a lot of action is the reaction of this jealousy. You think it is the right action, but that leads to some other actions, directly or indirectly it is harming the other person. I will come up with a few examples so that like you are able to relate, but still it is a general example or somebody's story. But when you have that kind of thought process, that jealousy leading to something else, even known person or unknown person, and that also changes the way you do actions. And the beauty is we don't know, we don't see it, we don't really recognize that. Why? We don't have time. Even if somebody pointing out, or even you are able to see that, we don't have time to process it. So that's why this connection, like, when we say anything, I want to do this way, it has to be like that. That's how I do. In this situation, if I were there, where we are like fixing ourselves. So because we said, this is what works for me. It's not that we cannot see, or we should not see that way, because we can't work eye. We need to still use the eye. But it is putting the shield, putting the screen, putting the curtain, so we don't really see the actuality of that. How to time given, consistent time given, with the right guidance, consistent time given. And those who are lucky enough, why I'm saying lucky enough, everybody want to give time, but we still got into the same trap. But I'm not able to give time. I have this, I have that, I should do that, I should not do that. So we are keep on going into the same beautiful life, right? So when it will be interesting to see, because I want you to recognize this ignorance, because that if you recognize that itself, like, giving a best base. But we don't recognize that, we don't see that. We straight away think like, even little bit we know, we think like a lot of things like we know already. We have some pride on that also. I'm not talking about the spiritual studies or anything like that. Just our own body we don't know, breath we don't know, thought process we don't know, around things, many things we don't know. So when that is the situation, the whole exploration is actually to know what the search, when we are saying like eternal happiness or anything, basically we want to know why I am not able to know, why this body functions this way. So we are basically looking for this knowledge that has the connection with this search of life, what I want to gain from that. So let's continue that. I said it's interesting to look the mind how it functions. If you don't have the interest, the same mind will say, this is really boring. So, but I can't say that, I'm interesting, it's very much interesting, it is nice to look into that way, but your mind has its own pattern, its own habit, right? So it has its own likes and dislikes. It's okay on Sunday evening time pass, but it is not okay 24 hours. But this inquiry is about constantly looking at the mind 24 hours, even while you are sleeping. So let's see that how it works. So we examine further in coming sessions, okay, so that we get better clarity, better understanding, knowledge. Any questions? Okay. What to do with the stubborn mind? Not only it tricks, but many times it's a kind of fighting back with the views of priority versus habit. Somehow I feel the inner challenges, having identified the need for a change. It's like the brilliant mind thinks it is in the equation, but it was not. Or what the desire for a change seems to be the cause of pulling out of equation. What to do with the stubborn mind? Generally, people go with the stubborn mind. They ask the mind once or twice or a few times, then afterwards they go with the stubborn mind so that life will be peaceful. At least a temporary peaceful, momentary peace is there. At least I'm happy for momentarily, because that is what really dragging me now. But the stubborn mind is not all the time, in all situations. If we see that it works, it plays selectively, where you are associated with. And many times it's a kind of fighting back with the views of priority versus habit. As I was explaining, why the habit is overpowering the priority. Right? We have been seeing things I don't want to do, I do. Things I want to do, I'm not able to do. That conflict mind is there all the time, right? Some people give importance to this conflict mind, some people not. Many people, I would say, not giving importance to this mind, just go with the flow. As you said clearly, the habit is set. The habit is set, it is not something the effort is done for a few times or a few months or not even few years. You can write down your habits. When I'm saying habit, the way you eat, the food you eat, the time you eat, the dress you wear, at home, what is your priorities? What kind of bed you need? What kind of atmosphere you need? And when you interact with people, what is the habit? Even you can look into the language, the way you speak, there is certain habit. Body mannerism, habit. So there are a lot of habits, everybody leading in the life, right? Having in the life. So note down those habits. You list out, you evaluate that yourself. How many habits are, what are my habits? It's not about hobbies. I'm not talking about hobbies. I'm talking about the way we are carrying ourselves. And when you write down those habits, and next to it, starting time of this habit, when this kind of habit started, you can look at that. You don't even remember. It's like started like maybe from childhood or some time back, long time back. Most of the habits, we look into that. That means the mind fully connecting or completely associated, or there is no difference between the habit and the way the mind functions. It has taken certain amount of time. But I'm not saying that it will take that much amount of time. Not necessary. If the change happens cognitively, when I'm saying cognitively, you may, with all the different evaluation, assessment, you may understand that. But when I'm saying cognitively change means, it is seeing it very clearly. We can take example, this habit, going to bed late night, getting up late morning. You want to change that habit long time. I'm just giving the example. But we take it for granted, or we are pointing out others, because of these things I'm not able to go to bed at time. But if you really look into that, setting your priority and look into that, what are the challenges for that, why it is not happening. All the external issues maybe you can manage, but the main challenge comes from you, because your habit is set already. Your body itself comfortable when it is going into that time. When it is getting up early morning, it is not comfortable. So this already set, right? So you find challenging. Now, if you are looking into all these things which is not supporting to change this habit into priority your way, you can do that when the conviction is there cognitively. That means you are changed already. You are change happening here. Yes, it is required, and I can do that. And I see what are the challenges in that. And also I will find the solution how to overcome that. But you know what happens? The mind don't want to lose things. Means it wants its comfort zone also. It wants its, like, whatever the things already getting by going to bed late, getting up late, whatever that benefits it is getting, that also it wants to enjoy. Still it wants to go to bed earlier also. So that will not happen. So that means the mind need to realize or understand, in order to gain that, we need to let go certain things. We need to ready to lose. We need to accept that I can lose there to gain here. Like this, when we are able to see the change happening here, that will bring the change externally, because that internal change is the first thing. The mind is seeing it very, very clearly. The cognitive change is very, very strong there. Then you gain the strength. And then that strength comes, then you can see that slowly you can work. Mostly you can work. Still there are certain habits will be like very challenging. And that's what takes some time, the whole practice. Why it is taking that much time? Because of that. Okay. And I feel the inner challenges, having identified the need for a change. See, inner challenge is one thing. that lot of people pointing out externally. Because of my government, I am not doing good. Because of God, I am not good. Because of my parents, I am not good. Because of my children, so many long list is there. Right? That external challenges, if they are able to really see that they don't have a control on that. How much you can control? You can't say much. Even your near people, dear people, your control is very less. The control means control to change. Even you take this habit, like I want to go to bed earlier. Your spouse may not, they don't want. Children, other family members, that's the time they are more active. So how to bring the challenge? How to bring the change? Anything you do, it may take time or it may work immediately. It all depends. But you have to ready to accept those challenges. It will be there all the time. Even you can solve one challenge today, tomorrow new challenge will come. You take care of your family members. Everybody supporting you. Then neighbor will create all the issues. You know. What you can do? Your own family members already took some time. With a neighbor. So, challenge will be there all the time. External challenges, we don't have control. This is again to the mind, need to be taught, need to be very clearly explained. And it has to understand that, it has to see that very clearly. So, when the people are not giving any challenge, that is really a miracle, a surprise. That is what we have to be surprised of. When things people are, you overcome the challenges. No, that is not. Any challenge you overcome, there are more challenges will come. It will keep on coming. So we have to prepare ourselves. We have to ready for that. Then when we have that mindset, when there is no challenge, you will be surprised. If there is challenge, you won't be surprised. So with that understanding, external challenge we can't do anything. Whatever I can do, it's only my challenge, my inner challenge. Right? So identifying that, with that identification, see that what is the way we can work. Then one by one you can see that. Certain time, if we touch one, the whole thing will be moving away. So only this way you can work out, which is seeing, identifying, bringing the cognitive change. Then the priorities will be slowly overpowering the habit. Even when I'm saying slowly, it is not a right word or right way of describing, because I'm giving a general idea. General method, it may work. So it is not necessarily it has to work slowly. It can happen like immediately also, very quickly also. It's all depends on your condition, your situation, your mindset, your approach. It's like how painful you are. When I'm saying painful means the when you are hungry, so much you are looking for food, and you can see that the mind not really giving attention on anything. The whole attention is where to get the food. When I'm saying when you are hungry, it is not like something morning you didn't eat, afternoon you didn't eat, then you are evening you are getting hungry. I'm not talking about it. Hungry means for a few days you didn't eat. So when you are looking for food, the whole focus is there, where to get a food, nothing else will really go inside. It's like standing on the fire. That immediately you want to run away from the fire. That's the only thing. Like it, even like the people jump from 10th floor, 15th floor, 20th floor. You know, when there is, you might have seen many incidents. The people know very well that they will die if or they may break from when they jump from so height. But still, they want to run away from fire. The fire, the pain, the burning is so strong they can't take it. So we need to have that fire. So when we feel that fire, then we can see that there is no other thing, there is no other attention. Right? So it's like, it is not you are sitting on the cushion, sofa, couch. No. Whenever you are sitting and simply relaxing, simply gossiping, simply going into all those things, you have to think, you are sitting on the fire. So you have to bring that fire. You need to feel that fire. Then you will see that you want to run away. You want to move away. You want to really look for the solution. So in that way it is there, things will happen faster. Also, don't give any kind of pressure on time. We don't need to really. This journey itself need to be enjoyable. Pain or, pleasant experience. But this journey, exploring, knowing these nuances of the mind, the intricacies of mind, and how slowly everything is unfolding. And when we are able to see that reality of that itself so joyful. So when we bring this time, okay, it's not happening. At the same time, it can't be lethargic also, laziness also. And you can see that we need to really find the balance between these two. Still, I am working on that, but not in a lazy way, lethargic way, or not half-mind way. At the same time, I am enjoying whatever comes along the way. Okay. Mind is not stubborn, but we are allowing it to take charge. We are challenged daily, even we don't want it. Yeah, as I said, the challenges, the external world is there all the time. It will never stop. Suppose problem externally, no. People will be giving the problem all the time. They may be doing good thing. Your mind may see it as a problem also. There is other problem. So, that's what I'm saying it. These external challenges will be there all the time. Just ready to accept it. If you say I don't want it, it will not happen. Instead we have to see external challenges will be there. I'm prepared myself to face it. It should be like that. Also, inner strength is challenged by hormones which fluctuates and disturbing our sleep and routine. All will be there, as I said. See, what you can do that? You can't control that. In what way you can change? We just need to find what are the possibilities, what are the ways I can overcome. But no guarantee I will overcome today itself. It may be tomorrow, maybe not possible. It may be after a week, not possible. It may be after a month, not possible. But what we can have, those things we don't have the control. But the control we have is, I am ready to accept it. Then question comes, I want to change this habit. I want to go to bed earlier. Now because of this, I am not able to go to bed earlier. I am not to get up and do my practice. Do I accept my interest to go to bed earlier, or do I accept because I am not able to fulfill that? Right? That's where we are getting the balanced approach. Still I have the interest. I am putting my effort. Because of, even I am ready to accept the external challenges, I am not able to handle my internal challenge physically. Even like mentally you may be different. But physically it has its own limitation. right? So what do you have to do? You can do whatever you can do within that limitation. That's what possible, at least at this point of time. So I'm accepting it for now, but still I have my sight is set to change this habit. So I'm still working on that. And this condition also will change, right? Remember the story, magic ring. So you have to put that magic ring. If you are not able to remember, better you can get that one ring and put there. This too will pass. This too shall pass. So this condition also will change. What else we can do? But when there is a room, there is a space to do something, you don't simply, retreat back. No. When we effort to overcome the challenge, whatever the way we do that full way, with all the possibilities, we don't leave anything. Every opportunity, every situation, we are working to overcome that. We need to develop that kind of attitude. Then you can see that all these challenges will disappear. No, I'm sure you heard of this saying. When we have the interest, when we have this will, when we want to gain something, when we want to achieve something, the whole world will conspire to make that to happen. The problem is, when we want to get something, when we want to achieve something, we set the time. I want to get it now. These things should be fulfilled within this time, this week, this month. That's where the challenge comes. Rather, ready to accept, set the challenge, set the focus, and keep working on that. Everybody will start to support. You may not believe it, including your family members. Or including the people you are thinking so far like really your enemies, are really like you are giving the trouble. All will support. That's how the system, that's how a lot of people's experience, and that's how the system, in a way. We want to get, whole world will conspire for that to make it happen. Just we need to have the patience to really receive it through its own time, its own course. So, but when we don't have that, then we get frustrated. That's how, the pain is adding, more and more pain is added in the list of pain what we have. Okay? Okay, I don't have any more question. Do you have any more question, any more comment, any more suggestion? Are you okay with the way we are going? Is it very difficult to give attention the way I am unfolding, exploring? No jokes, no stories, more serious? Are you able to
Thank
follow?
you very much, sir. No, it is very relevant. Each time I'm listening to your speech, somehow or other, something is like connected and I'm getting answered. Thank you very much, sir.
Hey, welcome. Good. Okay. So, shall we end today's session? How is your meditation going? Because we didn't have much time to discuss on that. I hope you get other time also to do pranayama. You spend already quite amount of time, and also you are able to follow the meditation. The time when we are saying that, right, to look into the mind, the meditation practice, pranayama practice will help a lot. It's not just like, what many masters and people are saying. And I have my own experience, as well as when I encountered many different people, many parts of the world. And this practice is really bringing that attention to the way the mind functions, to look into that. So that gives more and more clarity. So this is the tool. So don't let go of that tool. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening. Enjoy your practice. See you soon. Namaste.